for discussion.
Yeah, because I need to discuss. I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Larrabee?
A little confused. Dr. Colley had requested extra monies built into the budget for staff and administration raise. We're now preparing a second budget, level service. Well, maybe a level service budget. Is that including a projected number value to raises that may happen? Or is that not including that? I guess that's for you, Mr. Sullivan, I would guess.
Well, my assumption is, based on the way I made the motion, and my intention is that it is asking for a budget which puts together all anticipated expenses of providing the same education opportunities we have in this past year, in 2011. And if part of that continuation evolves into the need to pay to hold on to our teachers rather than having them go off, and our staff and administration, rather than having them go off to other systems which pay better, then I think we need to have that as an option. It's an option. None of those increases would go forward without coming back to us for approval, and is what I would, if that has to be added to the motion, it's an assumption I make to the process of implementing any increases in contracts. We validate those. So I don't see that we need to have it as part of the motion. We have also, in the district improvement plan elements, in my estimation, we have a continued commitment, as we have signed off, to a district improvement plan. So that's part of providing a level service to continue to educate our students and make those improvements that are required. Now, some of the district improvement plan, namely school climate, we've put a limitation on with other discussion. This isn't part of the motion.
No.
So you don't have to write all this down. So if that answers, I see that all these elements, certainly the one you asked, that anticipate some salary increases, we're not even addressing those now. I don't think it's appropriate that we do. And to limit them is addressing them. I need to see a budget that if we're able to provide, and the cover letter, which I didn't get a copy of, that came to us last week on what a status, a level service budget is providing, I still don't think meet where we should be at. And that's what the improvement plan is about. So, does it include salary increases? That option is in there for us to look at in the future. It doesn't endorse them. It just doesn't address them. But I personally, and I know the FinCom was wrestling with the idea of having this format in a budget. So my motion is to put level service budget in this format, which is not what this is. And it will include anticipated increases.
Through the chair, I'm all for, if negotiations result in raises for any faction, all for it, okay? I have a problem with building it into a budget for one reason. Absolutely positively in favor of level service. We need to get better, this and that. If we had a roof cave-in, I'd feel more comfortable with the budget going forward the way it was, with the level service, not building in any raises. If it results in that, then we go back to the town. Just as if we had a roof cave-in, or if we were the police department wanted to buy 10 new cruisers, or the fire department buy a new engine, you have your budget, and if something comes above and beyond, you go back to the town and you get the monies for that. They're in negotiations. Let the negotiations happen on an honest, level playing field, and let it happen. If it comes out one way or the other, then we deal with it at that time. I think building it in is, I just can't see that.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Last meeting, 2 weeks ago, when we approved level service, or level funded plus 150. The 150 included the 38,000 NIESC study, and it included the class size reduction, addition of language.
Language-based
And
classrooms.
that was 40, or was that 80?
No, to me, that was 80.
That was the 80, okay. All right.
And then I would have a little bit of money to put into the other activities.
Okay. In regard to the motion on the table, my sense is that you were looking for an actual number.
It would be helpful to know so that then I can put it into the right lines in this part of the budget, so that the FinCom would get version A, well, we get 3 versions, version nothing, version A, which would be the 150, and version C would be whatever number you give me now to put into those lines.
Okay. I just question whether level service as built into the motion is specific enough. Because just as an example, when I look at updated text, I think, and you could argue either way, that it is or it isn't. You know, if the service last year included the textbooks that are in the classrooms right now, then level service would include those same textbooks. I don't think that's the way to go, and I would like to see the 72,000 that's listed here for updated text actually be built in at that number that your staff developed. I would like to see that added to the budget. So that we would have, I mean, we know what that's going to cost, and there's the number, and it's built into the budget. And I hear what you're saying about the salary increase line, and I agree with you, Dr. Colley. I would like to see that added in too. So I guess as a minimum figure, in addition to what we approved 2 weeks ago, I would like to see that extra 172,000 for the salary increases and the updated text and materials for instruction. If that's palatable. Is that a possibility for a friendly amendment?
Well, that's right. You're a step ahead of me, Mr. Chairman. I anticipated you were asking for a friendly amendment. And in fact, you've highlighted my comment about the texts.
Absolutely.
And that is part of providing ongoing services, is making sure that we have enough textbooks and they're updated. And absolutely, that was my intention, that would be included in an ongoing effort. I continue to wrestle with the concept of putting a number on the amount we would need to continue to keep the quality programs in place, and the increase needed to make sure we have the staff able to do that. My colleague has suggested that we could come back, and I expect we will have to be coming back to address this issue